Bime, 34 female, Director of People and Culture at a mid-sized tech firm in Seattle. Master's in Sociology, minor in Communications. Salary, $185K plus bonuses. Resume is a weaponized list of buzzwords. Intersectionality, synergy, disruptive empathy. Firm believer that reality is a social construct, and I am the architect. I don't just work, I curate environments. I don't argue, I educate. Be husband, Mark. 36 male. Structural engineer. Salary, $140K. Looks like a generic stock photo of man in flannel shirt. Quiet, steady, relentlessly logical. Comes home, fixes things that are broken, reads history books, goes to sleep. Never raises his voice. Never engages in the discourse. I used to think he was mysterious. Now I realize he's just simple. A relic. An unmovable object in a world that demands fluidity. Our dynamic is clear. I am the kite, soaring, seeing the big picture. He is the string, holding me back, tethering me to the mundane. I explain to him why his favorite movies are problematic. He just shrugs and says, I like the cinematography. Refuses to engage. It's infuriating. His silence is violence. It's a refusal to validate my emotional labor. Current year. Company decides to trim the fat. CEO gives me carte blanche to restructure the engineering department. Finally, too many legacy hires. Old guard white guys who write code but don't contribute to the culture. I start the interviews. It's a slaughter. I fire the senior dev, Dave. Dave has been there 15 years, wrote the core architecture. Dave made a joke about Guys' Night in 2018. I pull his file. Conduct the exit interview. Dave tries to show me productivity metrics. I smile that pitying smile I practiced in the mirror. Dave, data is patriarchal. We need to talk about your asterisk impact on the team's emotional safety. Dave leaves confused and broken. I feel a rush of dopamine. I am a surgeon cutting out the cancer. Go home to tell Mark. Expecting praise for my bold leadership. Mark is in the garage, sanding a table. Tell him I fired Dave. Mark stops sanding. Dave Miller, the one with the autistic kid. I roll my eyes. Irrelevant, Mark. He wasn't a culture ad. He was creating a barrier to entry for marginalized voices. Mark looks at me. Really looks at me. Put down the sandpaper. Dave wrote the load-bearing code for your server clusters. You fired the guy who knows where the wires are. I laugh. We can hire 3 juniors for his price. Fresh perspectives. Mark turns back to the table. Okay. Just okay. No fight. No admiration. Just that flat, dead acknowledgement of reality. I go to bed angry. He stays in the garage until 2 a.m. Enter Julian. 29 male. Consultant brought in for brand synergy. Tall, wears scarves indoors, vocabulary entirely composed of therapy speak. He gets it. He listens to me rant about the patriarchy over overpriced cocktails. He nods enthusiastically. You're a queen, he says. You're outgrowing your environment. He validates my truth. We start having strategy lunches that turn into strategy dinners. Nothing physical yet. But the emotional affair is blazing. Julian is the Icarus to my son. We are going to burn the old worlds down together. Start resenting Mark's existence. The way he chews. The way he organizes the dishwasher, bowls on top, plates on bottom like a fascist. The way he pays the bills on the first of the month without asking for praise. It feels like oppression. His stability feels like a cage. I need to break free. I need to self-actualize. Consult Julian. Julian says, you owe it to yourself to curate a life that reflects your worth. Julian is right. I decide to upgrade. Phase 1, the exit strategy. I am smart. I know how the system works. I am the system. I start documenting microaggressions. Mark didn't ask about my day. Emotional neglect. Mark didn't want to go to the vegan poetry slam. Cultural isolation. Mark asked where $500 went from the joint account. Financial abuse. I build a dossier. I check the laws in our state. No-fault divorce, but assets are split 50-50. Unless I can prove he hindered my career or created a hostile environment. I can take the house. I can take the dog. I can take his dignity. I earn more, but I'll argue for alimony based on lifestyle maintenance and emotional damages. The night of the announcement. I cook dinner, rare occurrence, adds to the shock value. Mark sits down, looks at the pasta. Thank you, he says. I wait for him to take a bite. I want to divorce Mark. Silence. He chews, swallows, wipes his mouth. I have my speech prepared. I have the buzzwords: growing apart, misaligned values, emotional stagnation. Mark puts his fork down. Looks at me with those calm, dead eyes. Are you sure? That's it. No begging. No crying. No screaming so I can record it and show the judge he's unstable. Yes, I've outgrown this. I've outgrown ***. Mark nods. Okay, I'll move into the guest room tonight. I'll find an apartment by the weekend. I am stunned. He's robbing me of my moment. He's treating the end of our 10-year marriage like a logistics issue. You're not even going to fight for me, I sneer. Mark stands up, takes his plate to the sink. Rinses it. Places it in the dishwasher, bottom rack. I don't fight wars I've already lost, anon. He walks away. I am shaking with rage. How dare he be so reasonable? The next week is a blur. Mark is a ghost. He packs his things in labeled boxes. Books, clothes, tools. He touches nothing of mine. He touches nothing, shared, that I might want. He leaves the TV, the furniture, the art. He takes his computer and his files. Julian comes over the night Mark leaves. Good riddance, Julian says, popping a bottle of champagne. Now the healing begins. We have sex on the bed Mark paid for. It's okay. Julian cries a little afterwards about his mother. I tell myself, this is what emotional vulnerability looks like. This is better. This is real. Phase 2, the collision. Work is getting weird. Without Dave, the server migration is a disaster. The 3 junior devs I hired are quiet quitting. Timelines are slipping. CEO calls me in. Anon, why is the engineering team morale at an all-time low? I explain that we are in a storming phase of team building. I explain that toxicity takes time to purr. CEO looks skeptical. Fix it, we have a product launch in 2 months. I go back to my office and check my bank account. Balance is lower than I thought. I spent a lot on the new consultant wardrobe and Julian's business incubation fees. Doesn't matter. Once the divorce is finalized, I'll get Mark's $401k. Mark has been maxing it out since he was 22. He has a diversified portfolio. I have shoes and experiences. Justice will be served. Serve Mark the papers. My lawyer is a shark, the slay queen of family law. We ask for the house, 60% of assets and spousal support. Rationale, I supported his hobby, his PhD he never finished. No, his woodworking which drained family resources. It's a lie, his woodworking made a profit, but facts are malleable. Mark has a lawyer. Some old guy in a cheap suit. We meet for mediation. I walk in wearing a $2,000 power suit. Mark is wearing a flannel and jeans. He looks tired but calm. My lawyer starts the aggressive opening. My client has suffered years of emotional suppression. Mark's lawyer raises a hand. We can skip the preamble, here is our counteroffer. Slides a single piece of paper across the table. It says, Mark keeps his $401k, Mark keeps his car, Anon keeps the house and the mortgage, no alimony, clean break. I laugh. Are you joking? I'm entitled to half that retirement fund. I was his emotional support for a decade. Mark speaks for the first time. Anon, look at the addendum. I flip the page. It's a spreadsheet. It's detailed. Dates times amounts. What is this? The receipt. Mark's voice is steady. That is a log of every withdrawal you made from our joint savings to pay for Julian's consulting fees. My stomach drops. That's networking. It's $45,000 in 6 months, anon. Mark points to another column. And this is the credit card debt you racked up in your name, which you hid by intercepting the mail. $30,000. And this, he slides a USB drive across the table. What's on the drive? My lawyer asks, nervous now. Audio, Mark says, from the home security system, the one Anon insisted we install. I freeze. The camera in the living room. It records audio. Conversations with Julian. Conversations where I mocked Mark. Conversations where I explicitly said, I'm going to bleed him dry and use the money to fund your gallery. My lawyer closes her folder. She looks at me with disgust. You didn't tell me about this. It's out of context, I shriek. He was spying on me, that's abuse. Mark's lawyer smiles. It's a security system you purchased and installed, ma'am, in a two-party consent state, but you are recorded consenting to the system's terms of service when you set it up on your phone. We have the login logs. Mark looks at me. I'm not trying to ruin you, Anon. I just want out. Keep the house. I can't afford the mortgage on my own anyway, and neither can you, but that's your problem now. Just sign the paper. I sign. I have to. If this goes to court, the audio becomes public record. I lose the narrative. I lose my reputation. I sign the paper with a trembling hand. Mark stands up. Doesn't look back. Good luck, Anon. He walks out. I am left with a house I can't afford and a boyfriend who produces no income. Phase 3, the collapse. Move back into the house. It feels empty. Something is wrong. The heater makes a noise. The dishwasher leaks. The Wi-Fi is spotty. I call a repairman. He quotes me $400 just to look at the heater. I realize Mark fixed all of this. For free. For years. I try to get Julian to fix it. Julian tries to turn a valve, breaks it, floods the basement. Julian says, this energy is too toxic for my creative process. Julian leaves to stay with a friend. He never comes back. Work explodes. The product launch fails. Catastrophically. The servers crash. The data is corrupted. The board of directors launches an inquiry. They audit my department. They find the emails. The emails where I told HR to filter out candidates based on demographic fit, illegal. The emails where I mocked the CEO. The wrongful termination lawsuit from Dave arrives. Dave has receipts too. Dave has screenshots of me calling him a white patriarch relic in the company Slack. HR cannot protect me. I am HR, and I am the liability. I get called into the office. Security is waiting. Effective immediately. They walk me out. In front of the juniors I hired. They are on their phones, probably tweeting about it. No one makes eye contact. Phase 4, the void. 6 months later. Foreclosure notice on the door. I'm living in a studio apartment in a bad part of town. Sold the designer clothes to pay for a lawyer to fight the wrongful termination suit. I lost. I am unhireable. Google my name, and the first result is HR director fired for discrimination and incompetence. I sit on a cheap IKEA chair that I couldn't assemble properly, it wobbles. Drinking wine from a box. Scroll through Instagram. See a photo from a mutual friend. It's a barbecue. Everyone looks happy. And there, in the background, is Mark. He looks good. He's gained muscle. He's smiling. He's holding hands with a woman. She's pretty. She looks soft, kind, normal. She's a pediatric nurse. I stalk her profile. She posts pictures of a bookshelf Mark built for her. Caption, so grateful for a man who builds things. My rock. Comments are full of our old friends. Mark is the best. You guys are perfect. So glad he's happy finally. The rage rises. I want to scream. I want to comment. I want to tell them he's a boring, manipulative, emotionally stunted robot. But I can't. Because he isn't. He wasn't the robot. He was the structural engineer. He was holding the roof up. And I took a sledgehammer to the pillars because I didn't like the wallpaper. Look around my studio. Piles of self-help books. Unleash your inner goddess. The future is female. Manifesting abundance. They look like trash now. Paperweights. I check my bank account. $432.18. Rent is due in 3 days. Julian blocked me months ago. My network has ghosted me. I reach for the phone to call my mom. She answers. I told you, Anon. I told you he was a good man. I hang up. Throw the phone across the room. It cracks. Mark could have fixed it. Mark isn't here. Mark is never coming back. Darkness falls. No noise in the apartment. Just the sound of a dripping faucet I don't know how to fix. I am strong. I am independent. I am educated. I am the main character. Why is it so cold? Why is it so quiet? The recontextualization hits me all at once. Mark didn't stop arguing because he didn't care. Mark stopped arguing because he was waiting for me to hang myself. He gave me exactly what I asked for. Autonomy. Freedom. Consequences. He treated me like an equal. And it destroyed me. Stare at the ceiling. The realization settles in like concrete. I won the argument. I smashed the patriarchy in my own home. I curated my environment. And now I am the sole inhabitant of the ruin I built. I am the queen of nothing. The receipt is paid in full. Bime. 35 female. Unemployed. Single. Alone. Forever.